For the last few weeks, there has been controversy around Dr. Umar and his school.
Is Dr. Umar doing a disservice by trying to do this all on his own?
I tend to agree with her. She said, we haven't seen anything to make us distrust Dr. Umar.
When you're marshaling resources and the only resources that you're perpetually marshaling is financial, it leads people to think that that's your only interest, right? So congrats to the brother. I hope the school opens.
Grace and peace, everybody. Marc Lamont Hill recently did a panel discussion with two other brothers discussing Umar Johnson. And I want to talk about some of the inconsistencies in their commentary. And I'm not mad at Marc Lamont Hill or these brothers or any of the people that commented about it. But I do want us to kind of step back, if you will, from the fray and ask some better questions. What has Umar Johnson actually delivered to justify your dogmatic, rabid respect that he's going to be able to deliver to school? What has he actually delivered up to this point? We talk about brands all the time. We bring up all these different other scenarios, but they're actually delivering a product. If you are an iPhone user, and you have the newest and greatest iPhone 17, you probably had the iPhone 16 or maybe the 15. If you're like me, I'm a once every 2 year person. So I have my Samsung Galaxy S24. Next year, I'll probably get the S26. And because I believe in the product and they wooed me over with the S20, I had the S21. I love that S21. And from there, I had the S20. You got my point. There's a product being delivered each year to justify, hey, I think they're going to be able to do this year. And same thing with cars or shoes, fill in the blanks. What has Umar delivered year upon year or whenever to justify your dogmatic belief that he is going to ever be able to deliver the school? That's my question. So we'll watch this and I'll just stop a few times, but let's just bring it in. Let's go.
For the last few weeks, there has been controversy around Dr. Umar and his school. But the reason why I'm bringing him up today is because according to my sources, and these are internet sources, fairly reliable ones, but I haven't directly contacted the state of Delaware.
We're going to stop right here and we're going to stop saying that he has a school. He doesn't have a school. He has buildings that he says the school will be housed in. I could have an empty cup. You can't say that he has iced coffee. He has half and half. You can't say that whatever until there's actually something in the cup. Otherwise, it's just a cup. And at this current moment, it's just empty buildings. He doesn't have a school. I'm correcting myself. He doesn't have a school. He has buildings.
So I can't say first person that this is accurate, but based on the sources I've seen in the documents they provided, it seems that Dr. Umar has entered a payment plan with the state of Delaware. It seems that his school is no longer on the auction list, and it seems that FDMG lives another day. Thoughts, reactions. It's breaking news. So thoughts, reactions.
There's no school.
Congrats to the brother.
Congrats for what? Like, hold on. I know I said I'm not going to stop a whole lot, and I promise not to. There's no school. So what are you congratulating for? What are you congratulating him for? Paying his bills? I don't get a pat on the back when I pay my bills. Do y'all? And I bet you any of these men on here, responsible men, do not get pats on the back for doing their job and doing what is expected of them. Car note, light bill, phone, whatever, child support, whatever you're paying. Nobody gives you a pat on the back. You don't get kudos. Umar Johnson gets kudos for paying his bills. Make that make sense to me.
I hope the school opens.
I love the effort. I'm just waiting for the school to open. And I look forward to the day that it does open. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a beautiful idea, especially when we talk about just passing on history and legacy, and those names alone being attached to the school is a part of history and our legacy. So I just hope that at some point we do get an opening of the school so that kids can go in there and be educated.
You know, I will say one thing though. As a person who's like works in education,
Yeah.
and has been in that field my entire life. I started teaching when I was like 22. You know what I mean? I think it's really important for us as a public to inform ourselves on what is required to provide our children with the type of education that allow them to have a sense of self, a sense of culture, a sense of history, and academic success. And there's certain things you can look for in people, organizations, etc., that would indicate to you that they have the capacity to fully operate a school in a way that would make children well. And I would say, if when you look critically at those individuals or those proposals, and they don't show any indication that they have the capacity as far as pedagogically, structurally, the things you need to operate a school with those who will inherit the earth. If there's something that says, ooh, that don't seem like they got that right, I would implore you to not send your child there. And I would implore you to not have expectations that said structure.
I got to say, that brother's cooking right there. Listening to him, you know he knows. He's saying the quiet part out loud. We don't have any evidence that Umar is able to do this. So I don't know why he's congratulating Umar. He needs to be like me and say, Umar, you're full of hot air until further notice.
Would actually open or operate.
Can I ask a question real quick to both of you guys? You guys, doctorates, you guys are, you've been through years, decades of schooling and education and have passed down teachings. Is Dr. Umar doing a disservice by trying to do this all on his own? Is there a place where he could try to get some other people in who are well more informed on how to build and give the infrastructure needed? Like, I'm like, how are you people actually in support of Umar? The things you're saying right here are exactly what we've been saying. The anti-Umar crowd, the laughing at FDMG crowd. We've been saying everybody in the Book of Negroes has been saying what this man is saying. So why are y'all in support of this guy? That makes no sense. The meaning in what he's trying to do is commendable. But do you think he's doing a disservice? Because at this point, for a lot of people, it just looks like a sham, if we're being honest.
Yes, come on.
You're passing around the plate a little bit too much.
And that's an interesting question. And I just want to read one of the comments from Jamila here, who said, and I tend to agree with her. She said, "We haven't seen anything to make us distrust Dr. Umar. Believe him and support him until you have a tangible reason to do." Okay,
Jamila 826. I got to say something different. I'm gonna say this differently. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's too small. Sorry about that. We haven't seen anything to make us trust Dr. Umar. We can't believe him and support him until we have tangible reason to do otherwise. There you go. Trust but verify. Why? What do you have to run on? That's the question that's been asked. I don't think anybody's going to be able to beat those charges. What has he done that you actually are supporting? That's the question.
Do otherwise. Bill the Bunny asked me a question similar to what you're asking, Amani, which was, I don't mean to be messy, but Dr. Hill, I believe you are a donor. If I remember an interview you did with Dr. Umar in the Griot days, how do you feel? I feel like I'm looking forward to the school opening. I'm looking forward to him getting the support and the resources he needs for it to happen, which speaks to Amani's question, which is, what would it look like to have an infrastructure in place to make it happen? I think, like many of us who operate in the space of pundit, public intellectual, scholar, whatever title we have, many of us work in isolation, and we're encouraged to work in isolation. And because many of the people who support us fervently because of the work we do as individuals, we start building our empires and our silos individually.
I disagree. No, because this brother right here with the fedora hat on, he clearly understands you can't run a school by yourself. You could have a photography business by yourself. You could have a tutoring business by yourself. You could have auto detailing business by yourself. But everybody knows there's no way in the world you're going to run a school by yourself. Now, if you're homeschooling, we got you. But if you're going to build a business, a building with children coming in from different parts of the town and different parts of the community, there's no way you do that by yourself. So this argument right here, the silo independent working argument, is silly because nobody expects you to run a school by yourself. And again, everybody in the Book of Negroes has been arguing, where is your staff, Umar? So that's a silly argument, Lamont.
And so it's like, if somebody believes in FDMG, that's Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey. If people believe in FDMG because they believe in Dr. Umar's vision and his work, then they want Dr. Umar to build a school. Now, if I'm Dr. Umar, what I would do is what he did, which is marshal the resources and try to build the school.
No, but see, the resources are more than just cash. In a minute, they're going to talk about that. The resources are not just money. When we're talking about, and we've seen this in many instances, resources are, of course, the product. Resources are a network. Resources are people. There's a lot of different resources. It's not just money in the bank. Now, that's a good resource. Let's not get it twisted. But that's not it. And Marc Lamont Hill is really trying his best to duck and cover for Umar.
The question is the person who has the intellectual vision and the political vision the person to actually do the day-to-day execution of the vision? And I think sometimes we put more on our shoulders than we can carry. I'm not saying that's Umar's case. I don't know Dr. Umar's case. I've spoken to him about the school many years ago. I've supported the school. I funded the school or donated to the school. I'm not saying I don't know.
You didn't support the school. You gave money to Dr. Umar. Let's put that in the right perspective. All you did was give money to Umar. He might have tricked that money off, or that money might be in the bank, but you did not fund the school. You gave money to Umar. Say it correctly.
Know his infrastructure, so I don't want to speak to it. But what it looks like from the outside is that maybe he could use more people to volunteer their time, more people, because money's one piece of it, but also what would it look like to have someone who's doing the day-to-day while he's traveling the world, giving these brilliant talks, these brilliant speeches? What would it look like for someone else to be speaking to the state of Delaware? What would it be like for somebody else to make sure that they don't try to cut a backdoor deal to take his property, as he's alleging? What would it look like for someone to be recruiting teachers or developing curriculum? Again, I'm not saying he doesn't have those things in place. I don't know, but I've never heard him talk about that piece of it because he's working so hard to raise the money and build the school. And securing that building is no small thing. Mm-hmm. And I've been to that campus. I've walked in those doors. I've seen that school. That is a real thing. And it's not a small thing. So I respect that. I think maybe getting more help is something that all of us could do. Mm-hmm. And it might serve us in the end. So I don't have a direct answer to your question in terms of whether it's true in his case, but I suspect that if he's like every other person I know, including the two people up here who I'm talking to and myself, we could all probably benefit from delegating a little bit more.
But he hasn't delegated at all, though, Marc Lamont Hill. We're not just talking about if Marc Lamont Hill wanted to open up a dry cleaner today, he would probably operate as he's saying. But Umar has been opening, quote unquote, the school for better than a decade and a half and still doesn't have a team. We have not seen a team, Marc Lamont Hill. Stop giving duck and cover. It's okay to say this dude probably scammed us. This dude probably ran off with the money that I gave him. That's what you need to say, because he doesn't have a school. He has buildings that are empty. You could put children in there. You could put clothes in there. You could put education could be happening in there, or manufacturing could be happening there. You don't have a school. You have buildings. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. Let's get done.
That's my take. Chris, what do you think?
No, I love that response. I think you're right. And bro, I think that marshaling the right folks and having the right team and having the right structure could bring the vision to fruition for people who want to send their kids to that kind of school. You know, the thing about it is, right, when you're marshaling resources and the only resources that you're perpetually marshaling is financial, it leaves people to think that that's your only interest, right? So if it's like
I like this guy. I don't know who this dude is, but man, I got to give him another one. He is cooking, man, and that's the issue. Matter of fact, I got to get him. You know what? I got to give him sensation, man, because he cooking. All we hear is Umar talking about money, even when he was on the El Jamar show. Remember that? I don't need information. I don't need people. I just need donations. Come on, man. Come on. Let this guy cook, Jason.
Like, yo, I need y'all to send some money. I need y'all to send some money. Bet, bro. Sent. But I'm not hearing the same energy around, yo, I need y'all to send, if you're interested in school leadership, if you have an expertise in this, right? So like, there's been no indication, like to Mark's like, yo, you need to have these things in place. And I would agree. But I think that there should be an equal amount of public request for support in all the things, so you can show us that it's not just about that one thing.
Yeah. And Chris, I put in the chat there, I put the newest document so you can see it for yourself. It's a document from the state of Delaware, which shows, let me say, alleging that it's from the state of Delaware. Again, I haven't authenticated this document, but other people have, which say that payment plan has been made and that they're no longer on the auction block, which for me is great, because the last thing I want to see is that property, which came out of people's pockets and came from the sweat and blood and tears maybe of all the people, all the grassroots community, but especially Dr. Umar, who took the lead on this. I don't want to see that building go away. I don't want to see that building lost. So I'm grateful to everybody who made that happen. I'm glad that he's able to hold on to it, and I hope that the FDMG Academy is it Academy or school. I hope the FDMG thrives and lives and hopefully opens very, very soon. And I personally,
what is your evidence, Mark? I'm sorry, man. I'm not a Marc Lamont Hill fan, and this is not coming off of him because I disagree with him ideologically on other points. But sir, you are being a fool. There's no reason to believe that this is going to happen. You can sit there and hope and wish upon a star that the great pumpkin comes as much as you want. It's not going to happen. It doesn't matter how sincere you are. Sincerity in a weak bridge will leave you wet. Lack of sincerity, lack of trust in a strong bridge will get you across. It's the bridge, and Umar is the bridge, and he has no verifiable proof that he's ever going to be able to do this. Ever. I know that sounds harsh, but ever.
Will volunteer to work there, teach a course, and to do whatever is needed from me in terms of time. You know, the three things you want when you have organizations: time, talent, and treasure. Right? You want people to volunteer, you want people to lend their talent, and you want people to donate money. I'm willing to do all three. So I'm glad. And remember, everybody.
I do not want to. The one thing I want to see the school open, but I also don't want to see this man fail or be wrongly criticized for just making honest attempts at trying to.
But is it an honest attempt? That's the thing I really don't. What is your evidence that this is an honest attempt? How do you know he made an honest attempt? Because the brother right here with the glasses and the fedora, he clearly understands it. He just doesn't want to say it, but he clearly wants to say it, understands it, that Umar hasn't demonstrated this. We're trusting in him on his word.
Do something great. So, salute to him. I hope he's able to make this happen.
Salute to him indeed. And again, FDMG stands for Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey. It's a Black nationalist project. And that means something to me. It's about self-determination. It's about Kuji Chagulia.
We haven't seen anything to make us distrust Umar Johnson is a wild take. Come on. Why do people walk on eggshells when they know something is a scam? You look like fools and take away from legitimate efforts. Let us say that again. Come on. Come on. You all are playing in our faces. You know what? I've never really understood that adage, playing in people's faces, until I watched this video. And that, amen. Amen. Because that's just point. Like, how do you, come on, man. You would think that they had not seen anything that's going on with Umar Johnson. None of the foolishness, none of the chicanery, none of the unseriousness that's going on with him. Man, come on. What is going on here is a mix of belief, perseverance, and cognitive dissonance. To see such mental heavyweights give this guy the benefit of the doubt is really crazy work. I agree. 100%. It's not a school. It's a commercial building. Say that again. It's not a school. It's a commercial building. Shout out. Yo, again, I'm not against Marc Lamont Hill because he wants to see something come together. He's really hoping and wishing, but sir, let it go. This is a scam. This is a scam. And I promise you, if we were able to, if the Lord tarry and the creek don't rise, in 5 years, we'll still be saying this exact same thing. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.